Made by Mitchell has come out with a bunch of new products and I bought a lot of them to test out with you in this video today. We have the Curve Case Pressed, which I think is a very interesting product. And then of course we also have some new lip balm and lip scrub. We have a new primer that I did already try out in a video earlier this week. And we also have a new lip cream formula, which I think is really interesting. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm already wearing a little bit of skin tint and some concealer. I want to do the Curve Case Pressed on its own first, and then I want to try it out with the Curve Case Cream, that it was the original Curve Case, because on the website by Made by Mitchell it says that it's ideally used together, or that is like a great way to use them. So let's have a look at the Curve Case Pressed. The Curve Case Pressed is really a pressed version of the curve cases that they already had from Made by Mitchell. Is the same packaging when you open it up. It's the same colors. Every colorway is a like direct match to the curve case that was already existing in the line. It's supposed to be a more lightly pigmented product. It's a matte powder product, and I think this is really interesting also for people who don't like cream products but do want to get into like the curve case hype and are interested in like the options that you have here. I think there are some really fun shades in here for sure. So I've had the Curve Case Cream for a little bit. I did also do a dedicated video to it, and it is a very creamy, very emollient, not a fully dry down kind of cream product. So I think it's interesting that we have this combination here. I do think it's like almost a little bit much to have two face palettes, but if that really works, I would definitely use it because I do really like the look of a cream with a powder on top. There's just something about the way that blends that I really enjoy. I know some people think it shouldn't be necessary, but I do like that. Also, we have some new lip care products. We have duos, which you can also buy them individually on the Made by Mitchell website. I have here the Pout Polish Lip Scrub in Pinch Me, and this is in a really big tub. There's 20 milliliters in here, so there's a lot of product. And this one smells faintly. It's nothing too crazy. It smells faintly of like pink lemonade. It actually smells quite nice. And then we also have the lip balm, which has the same scent, the same packaging, and this lip balm is in a pink color, but when I swatched it I didn't really see much of a color to it. It is just a clear lip balm. There's a lot in here. We're going to be trying it out as well. And then we have the Lip Sync Matte Lip Cream, and I got it in a shade Blossomed, and this is kind of like a peachy pink, quite a light shade. Apparently this is buildable, very comfortable, a matte lip cream. It's in a squeezy tube packaging, which I think is really interesting, a really interesting choice. But I think for like makeup artists, I do get that. Like it's easier to just put a little bit of this on a like mixing how do you call it, like a mixing palette, and then take a little bit of a brush, put that on the lips. And then we of course have the Glow Goo that I already tried. This one is in the shade Peach Pearl. Now I'm already wearing a skin tint, but after I've done just the Curve Case Pressed, I'm gonna take this off, and then I will also show you this one again. And I almost forgot, I do have a brush here. This came with the Curve Case Pressed. This is a smaller angled brush. I do quite like the brushes from Made by Mitchell. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit, and I guess we can just start with one of the lip products, and this is the lip scrub. I'm just gonna use a little bit of the lip scrub, see how I feel about it. I'm someone who has pretty dry lips. Like this year by far isn't the worst year when it comes to dry lips for me, because I now have some lip balms that I do really find work, but I still have a relatively dry lips. So let's just try it. I took a little bit on my finger and let's see how I feel about it. I don't scrub my lips a lot. Maybe I should do it more. And maybe I should do it before I put on a skin tint. And maybe I shouldn't talk and try and do this. Definitely a sugar scrub. Tastes a little sweet. I always find that lip scrubs feel so like soft. And maybe a little too soft. Like I'm always wondering if it's really doing something. I quite like the scent of this. It's subtle. It's nothing too crazy. Don't know how much it's really doing. Let's just take it off and see. Feels quite nice. Okay, my lips are feeling pretty good. Like pretty smooth. I do think it did something, but I kind of feel with a product like this you kind of have to see how well it works for you if you use it more regularly. I do think that the packaging of this is really cute, and just the way this looks, I do really like the look of this, so I might actually use it more. now that I have it in this cute packaging with the cute scent. And then of course we have the Intense Lip Balm in Pinch Me, and I'm just gonna scoop a little bit out with the back of my nail and then apply that on my lips. Oh, that is quite like emollient, kind of glossy. It looks kind of nice. It has, I think, maybe the faintest color to it, but in the swatch I didn't really see anything. It's a very emollient, glossy, not really thick or sticky or heavy feeling lip product. I'm kind of thinking that this is not going to be like an overnight lip mask kind of situation, but it does look really cute, so I could see myself applying this just like throughout the day. I'm just gonna let that sit and see how I feel about that. Now let's get into the Curve Case pressed, and I'm just gonna try and use it with the brush that it comes with. So this lighter Curve Case is definitely a little bit on the olivey side, especially this shade is very olive. I think this one is probably my perfect shade, the shade Cloud Carve. I think this is quite a nice neutral color. This is definitely not a very warm palette. It's cool tone, but a little bit more of a like olivey undertone. I do really like the blush colors that we have in here, and that is kind of the reason why I decided to buy the Curve Case cream when I did decide to buy that. So I actually want to take this shade and kind of set under my eyes a little bit, because I did apply the Catrice Under Eye Brightener and I do feel like it's moving around a little bit. I just had to buff out the creases a little bit. So I'm gonna see if this shade works for that. It's pretty like powdery, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. Oh, that is very kind of blurring. I am not the fairest of fair. Kind of like a fair to light. There are definitely lighter skin tones that could use this palette, but I kind of feel like I am probably sort of the deepest skin tone, where it kind of makes sense to buy this colorway. I think if you have a deeper skin tone than I do, then you probably should look at the light palette. Because like this shade, this is my skin tone, basically. A little lighter even. Okay, let's see if this wants to stick around. Otherwise, when I redo my base, I will just grab a different concealer. Alright, let's go into this bronzer shade. And I didn't feel like this was extremely lightly pigmented or anything like that. I do feel like this is gonna have some pigment. Like at first when they described it, I was a little scared that it was only gonna work on top of the creams. But when I swatched it, I thought it looked like pigmented enough for a face powder. It's definitely a matte product. It's kind of like mattifying the base that I have underneath. Kind of like a contour shade almost for me. It looks quite good, I think. It's blending out quite nicely. But yeah, it's definitely quite a contoury shade. So this is with the bronzer contour and this is with nothing. Yeah, I quite like how this is looking. Just gonna do the same on the other side. But yeah, definitely matte. But I do understand the choice for this formula, because if you want to set the cream with this, this is gonna be very nice. I don't feel like these colors gave a super bronzy look. It's definitely more on the contoury side, but that's also what I said, it's quite a cool tone palette. I feel like there's something kind of subtle to this effect, but I do really like it. I do on myself like a more subtle bronzer. I'm just gonna build that up a little bit. I'm just taking a little bit more and building up the bronze. See how I feel about that with this product. I do really like it. I do feel like it looks really smooth. And it's going on top of my skin tint really well. Yeah, I don't feel like I can go overboard too quickly with this. But at the same time, I don't feel like this is too lightly pigmented. I think if you have a lighter skin tone, you could probably get away with this shade as well for the bronzer. Maybe I will try it with a different brush though. But it is a nice and precise brush. I do feel like it works. Alright, let's go into a blush. I think I'm gonna go into the pink shade for this look. I'm gonna grab a different brush that doesn't have any of the bronzer on it. So this is what the pink blush looks like. And yeah, that has quite a nice amount of pigmentation. It's very blurring. Like I feel like it's definitely perfecting my skin. I really like that color of blush. But yeah, very, very matte once again. Matte and blurring. I'm gonna add a little bit of the peachy shade and kind of like blend it in with it. That's a nice color to kind of like diffuse the look. I really liked it. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna play around a little bit, and I'm also gonna do a little bit of this shade, which is Little by Little. It's kind of like this bricky rose shade. Gonna use it on the other side. I think that's a lovely rosy natural flush. I just grabbed this same brush. I didn't really think about it, but you definitely see the difference. It's a really lovely formula. I really like it. It's not like too dead matte, I feel. It's also not like you're gonna see it glow anywhere, but I do feel like it's looking really nice and perfected on the skin. It's blending out really nicely. I really like both of these colors on myself. Really, really lovely. I'm thinking this is turning out really well. Like, this is looking good. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that light rosy shade diffusing here as well. I just really like using different shades of blush to kind of blend things together and blend things in. That is really lovely. I really like it. I also really like the feel and the look on the lips of that lip balm. It's so glossy and my lips do feel good. Okay, it is time to take off everything that I have on my face right now, and then I'll be right back to combine the curve cases. Alright, before I do anything, I'm gonna show you the Glow Goo in Peach Pearl on my face. So this is an illuminating primer. You get 30 milliliters of product in this, and this definitely has kind of like a milky texture that blends out to a iridescent glow on the skin. It definitely has some shimmer in it, it has some mica in it, but then if you apply something on top, it's gonna shine through really nicely. So I'm just gonna pump a little bit of this Glow Goo on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna apply it to my face. I do like to use a brush for that, so I'm just gonna grab a brush, kind of work this in, and then apply this on my face. I do have a little bit of irritations in my face. I don't know what's going on. I do feel like the shimmer in this kind of emphasizes some irritation and redness in my skin, but I do really like it as a primer. Like, it's good to use this on its own if that is something you'd like to do. I do feel like it makes my skin look very glowy and hydrating, and it does dry down fully. So it's kind of like a wet jelly feel on the skin, then it sinks in. So yeah, you definitely see it's almost kind of like a sweaty look. It's very shimmery. Let me come a little bit more up close. Like, it's very, very shimmery. But it's not in a chunky way, but you definitely see a little bit of that peachy cool and glow. And yeah, it does dry down fully. It doesn't feel sticky or irritating. I don't know if there's any perfume in this. If there is any perfume in this, then it's very, very lightly perfumed. But yeah, I did really like it when I applied something on top in my video where I tried this for the first time. Like, there's something really nice about this as this shines through. And now I'm just gonna take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm, I believe this is called. I have shade 3, and I was just wearing this one, the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Stick, but this one is already a little bit glowy on its own, so I think glow on glow might be a little bit much, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this one. And I think you can definitely see how this shines through. I'm very glowy right now. I do think I'm gonna like reduce the glow a little bit in the end, but we'll see how it goes with the Curve Case press as well, because that is very mattifying. But I also feel like just working things a little bit into the skin can also reduce glowiness a little bit. Okay, so I also applied a little bit of concealer. I'm looking very like a clean canvas right now. So we're gonna start out with the original Curve Case in lighter, and we are gonna do basically the same thing. I'm gonna use this one first. So that was shade Cloud Carve. This one, by the way, is heavily scented. Like, it's very much like smelling suntan lotion. I feel like the powder one basically has no scent. I feel like it has no scent. I will smell it in a little bit. So I'm just gonna start out right over here with that shade. It is quite close to my skin tone. I do really like this formula, but yes, it can be a little bit thick and sticky. Like, it's not that super thin, dry down type of formula. So it's something that you have to like. I do feel like it perfects the skin. It has almost a little bit of coverage to it, which I do really enjoy. My hair is stuck to my face. Like, it's kind of like a subtle sculpt. I do really like how that looks. Like this is without, this is with. I know this is not a review of the Curve Case Lighter Original, but maybe you're interested in both, or maybe you're interested in the combination. I have all these curly baby hairs that don't want to stay put. Like I can put up my hair, but they will still get in my makeup. So this is the bronzer, the cream bronzer. It is just a subtle look. I do really like it. It's glowy. And then for this look, I'm gonna go into the cream blush, which is Electric Petal. This is such a cool shade. Okay, just gonna dip in the palette and apply this lilac blush. I do love a purple blush. So when I saw that this palette had a purple blush, I was halfway sold. Such a cool color. And I'm very curious to see how this will look with the other products on top. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the lighter shade to clean up the edges. What brush am I gonna use? I'm just gonna take a small eyeshadow brush because I just want a little... Maybe that's already too much. Just want to clean up underneath here, because sometimes I go a little bit too low with my blush. And then over here. And then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of the purple. I think that's looking really nice. I'm really liking my skin right now. And then of course I'm gonna grab the Curve Case Press. We're gonna go into that same shade. And let's see, we're gonna set this down. Ooh, that is nice. I think I liked it. Then a little bit over here, just a bit. I don't know, I do love the combination of powder and cream. I also really liked it on the eyes. I just really like how that blends. So, and then with this, it's really easy to find things that you want to combine because it's the same shades. So this is the bronzer set. I feel like it creates a really nice kind of like satin glow. And I would almost be like, okay, and then I would just leave the blush, but we are testing out the Curve Case Press. So we are going to be testing out the purple blush on top. And I'm just going to grab my blush brush, taking a little bit of the purple and putting that on top. I just feel like colors pop really nicely when you apply a powder on top of a cream. Now it's definitely more mattified, but there's still some sort of satiny glow to it. Do you think I like that combination? I do like to have the option of this. The option to set it down. But of course, buying 2 curve cases, it's quite an investment. So I'm happy that it also worked well on its own. Yeah, I'm liking that. This is the purple blush. We still have a glow, but it's not feeling heavy or sticky. It set it down in a really nice way. I'm really liking my skin. Just look at the glow as I turn my head. It's just a little bit more diffuse, a little bit more toned down. And I'm just gonna take the lighter shade and set a little bit with that. Just a little on the forehead. Just lightly dusting that. And then a little right over there. Under the eye. I do have a dry patch here. There's nothing to do about that. You're always gonna see that a little bit. I really like this diffused purpley blush look. I really like how that looks. I think I'm not gonna apply a highlighter to just have this kind of like natural glow, this satiny glow. Then we have, of course, one last thing to try. It is the Lip Sync in Blossomed, and I'm just gonna take off this lip balm. My lips are feeling pretty good. They're feeling soft. They're looking good, like smooth. Still sort of like a hydrated residue left. I'm kind of liking that. Okay, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of the lip sync with a lip brush. I've been talking about needing a lip brush for many videos, so with this order I was like, okay, I will just try a lip brush. So this is a lip brush by Boozy Shop, their own brand, and I'm just gonna squeeze out a little bit. It's a very different application method that is so light. I didn't expect it to be this light. Just look at this packaging and look at this. I also didn't expect it to be this peachy. I think this is gonna be more of a like center of the lip kind of product. But if I can apply it kind of lightly, then maybe that can also work. It feels creamy and it feels very lightweight. I feel like the lighting is like freaking out because I'm so pale and then I have this pale peach lip on. It's looking better than I was expecting it to. Like there's definitely some potential here. Feeling really lightweight, a very like plushy, not exactly creamy, it's just not drying and it's almost like you have nothing on the lips. It feels so light. I do feel like it's looking pretty good. It's kind of almost like a satiny look that it has, but also not. It's also matte and satin at the same time. A satin matte. I'm gonna see if I can blend this out a little bit. I think there's definitely some potential to this formula because it does feel really nice. It's gonna transfer a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I do like it kind of like blurred out like that. I don't know if I should try and build this up because I don't feel like with this color it's gonna look good. I think I'm gonna apply a little bit of liner and then I might apply a little bit more of this one kind of like in the center of the lip. Just gonna grab this one by Kiki Milano 318. Should sharpen it. Why do I always buy lighter shades than I'm thinking from Made by Mitchell? It's like my Made by Mitchell lip curse. Okay, I'm gonna apply a little bit more of this shade. It's gonna be hard to really judge it in this video. I mean this formula, because I don't know, it's just a tough shade. Just gonna blend it in with my finger, see if that works better. Why did I buy this color? I don't know, I made a mistake. Okay, it's starting to look better, I think. And just blending it in with the lip liner. And I think there's some potential to this formula because it's so lightweight, it's not sticky, it's comfortable. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tough shade for me to work with because I have very pigmented lips and I always feel like very light lipsticks, they tend to look a little odd on me. But I don't know, as it is now, I think it's actually looking kind of cute. Maybe I just have to get used to the formula a little bit. Also because there's not a doe foot or anything, or there's nothing that really shows you or gives you an inclination of how much you should get of this product, how much you should grab on your brush. So yeah, this is gonna be the lip look. I'm gonna see later as well if it's gonna look good underneath a lip gloss. That could also be something that works. So this is gonna be the finished look. I just did an eye look as well with the Cool Gems palette by Wycon, and I just feel like my skin is looking really good. I feel like the overall look right now is looking a little bit crazy because this lip is just not really working for me, but that's my own fault. From now on, if I buy a Made by Mitchell lip product, I'm gonna be like, okay, choose the product that you think is gonna be good and then choose a shade that's a little darker than that. I just feel like this looks just a little bit crazy. I would like a shade like this in a more sheer formula. I feel like that works better. It's just with my pigmented lips, I just feel like it always looks a little bit off, even though I like a lighter lip product. So overall, I really like the Curve Case Pressed. I think it's a really nice product to set things with. It has a really nice blurring, easy to use, easily to blend formula. And I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. I think it's a great step for the brand to come out with a pressed version as well. And the fact that you can use it on its own or use it to set is really nice. The lip cream, as I said, there's potential to it, but this shade just isn't for me. It does feel quite nice and light. And I think another shade is gonna look much better on my lips than this. And then of course we have the Glow Goo. This is the second time that I've used it. I really like it. I can really see myself using that more. And then the lip scrub and lip balm duo, I actually really enjoyed. I think that the lip balm looks really nice on the lips. I can really see myself using that. And maybe even together with the lip liner almost as a gloss because it looks so good. And I'm gonna try and be a little better at scrubbing my lips because I'm always saying that my lips are so dry, but I'm not doing the most to fix that. So I'm not gonna take off this lip, put on something else, film another video, but the skin, I'm a big fan of. I feel like it's looking really perfected. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited about these products. Alright, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.